Hi Summit, if you like to learn how to draft and cut this alternate crop top with the rope cut together, then watch this video to the very end. My name is Veronica Adams Eze. Welcome to Vera Adams YouTube channel. So here's the pattern paper I'll be using, and I'm going ahead to mark 4 inches away from the initial starting line, and that part will serve for the neck extension. So from that point, I'm going ahead to mark the shoulder to bust line, shoulder to under bust line, and shoulder to the length of the top. Remember that this is a crop top, so I just went ahead to do 15 inches. So right here, I'm going ahead to draw a straight line out of those points. Moving on, I'll go ahead and mark 2 inches above the bust point, and that would serve as the chest line. I'm going ahead to rule a straight line out of this point and name it as chest line. Right on the chest line, I'm going to go ahead to take a quarter of the bust span measurement, which is 8.5 inches, and I'm also going to repeat the same 8.5 inches on the waistline and connect these points together, just as you see me doing right here. Moving on to the shoulder line, I'll go ahead to take the same 8.5 inches, and then I'll connect it down to meet the chest line. I'll then go ahead to take the actual shoulder measurement, which is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 2 is 7 inches. But I wouldn't be marking it from the usual center of the paper, but rather from that point where we marked 8.5 inches. So I'm marking it right there from that point, 7 inches, and I'll be coming down by a 1 inch slope. Then I'll go ahead to take the neck width at 3.5 inches, and I'll connect it right into the slope. I'll move downwards to the chest line, and right on the chest line, right on that point, or right from that point rather, I'm going to go ahead to mark the shoulder measurement, that's 7 inches, and connect it upwards, just like you see me doing right here. After that is done, I'll also go ahead to mark the bust span measurement, which was exactly what we used to get that line. So I'll go ahead to divide what I have on the shoulder line into 2 to create the arm move curve. I'm going in by 1/2 inch, and from that point I'll go ahead to connect it into the bust span measurement on the chest line. I'm sure this is not new to you if you have been following my channel for a while. I'll go ahead to take the under bust measurement as well as the waist measurement right from that same point, and I'll connect this together. Moving on, I'm going to divide what I have from the bust line to the under bust line into 2, and I'll make a mark right there, and from that point I'm going to connect it right upwards to make the neck width. Right now I want to go ahead and create the rope extension. So from that point, I'm marking 12 inches. You can do as long as you want, but I later increase it to 14 inches, so you can go as long as your fabric can afford. So I've gone ahead to mark 12 inches from that point, and here is it. I'm sure you can't see it here, but now it's more visible. So right at that point, I'll determine the width, and I'm using 3 inches, but the other parts I'll be using 1.5 inches because I want the edge to be wider than every other part. So right here, I'm going to be connecting right from the hem of the top right into the difference between the under bust and the bust that we marked earlier, just as I've done right here. So once that is done, I'll go ahead and connect it right to meet the extension with my free hand, just in the manner that you're seeing me doing right here. Right at this point, the extension I have is 12 inches. I divided into 2, that's 6 inches right there. And from that point, I'm going to connect to meet the edge. I came out by 1 inch on the other side of the edge, and from here I'm also going to come out by 1 inch and connect to meet the midpoint of the extension. I'm using freehand in here because the ruler would not give me the shape that I want. Moving on to the top, to the second starting line, I'll go ahead and make an extension, and I'll go ahead and rule just as you see me doing right here, and I'll measure 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches actually works well for me, and then I'll determine the width, and I'm going to be using a width of 1.5 inches, and from this loop area right here I'm going to go ahead to also mark 3.5 inches, so that would automatically give you something not straight, like a bit slanted, and that is okay because the neck region is not straight. I will then go ahead and curve the shoulder part inwards to form a slight curve. Now I can move ahead to start cutting. So right at this point we're done with the cutting, and this is what it would look like, the neck extension at the back of the neck. So, and also you can actually go ahead to make this rope extension straight instead of the curved one that you have right here. This means that you can go ahead to make this rope extension in any shape that you might want. So you go ahead and cut 2 pieces of this, one on the left side and one on the right side on your fabric. For the back piece, if you know how to cut the regular basic bodice block for the back, then it's fine. The back piece will not include the neck extension like we have on the front. So right here is a back pattern, and I'm going ahead to draw a straight line right from the armhole to connect to the midpoint, and I've gone ahead to cut it out. So here it is after I've cut it out. So right now I'll go ahead to bring in the front piece so that we'll see how it looks like, making sure that the front and the back piece connect on the armhole down to the hemline. So if you found this video useful, do well to give it a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. If this is your first time here on this channel, do well to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.